Did you ever wonder how some artists are able to put together a really cohesive body of work that looks like it just belongs together, and why you just can't do that? Well, today I'm going to solve that problem for you. I'm going to show you what a series is today. I'm going to define it, show you what it's not, and tell you what a good cohesive series looks like. Here's the deal. For a lot of newer artists, they just don't seem to be able to figure out how to solve the problem of making really strong works, but how to make them cohesive. A lot of the artwork is like beautiful one-offs, but they don't come together. Today, my goal is to clarify all this. Let's jump right in. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about what a series is. A series is a body of work that shares common themes, colors, ideas, shapes, marks. There's something that unifies all those pieces together. And sometimes the artist has a goal from the beginning to say, I'm going to do a series of abstracts about Pedernal in Abacu, like George O'Keeffe did a lot of Pedernal paintings. Or some artists might create a bunch of paintings and then after a 6-month period or so find that they all come together and there is some uniting idea or color palette or forms that unite that body of work. So don't think, first of all, that you have to know exactly what you're doing in the beginning. You can actually create your artwork and flow with things and then figure out your idea and what unifies everything afterwards. And that's what I'm going to show you in the works behind me here. I'm going to show you how, if we consider this a body of work, how it doesn't quite work, but if we eliminate a few paintings, this would actually be the beginning of a really great series. So let's get to it. As you can see here, we have a lot of different paintings. And there are some common elements, there's some things that combine them in terms of color and in terms of form and texture, but some feel like they don't quite belong. Let's just talk about what we see so far. So we have a lot of pale pinks and like a lavender, pale blue, and some warm and cool yellows in this one. And we also see a lot of those colors in this one as well. We've got the warm yellows, not the cool yellow so much, but the pale blue, the pale pink. And there's also a lot of black lines in this piece. And also in this piece, there are some black marks. It's charcoal and it looks gestural, but it does sort of help to bring these two pieces together. So if we just isolate these two pieces, they both are also abstract landscapes. They have a horizon line. The horizon line is where the sky and the land appear to meet. So they also share that element as well. And there's a few techniques that are similar. I love to do scumbling. You can see some scumbling here, and you can see some scumbling here. We have some technique connections here. Now let's go over to this one. And so this painting has also some pale pinks and pale blues. It has some black bold marks, some pale peaches as well. In terms of color, it connects well with these other pieces, but also in terms of some of the marks that are made. Again, there's some scumbling, there's some stencils that are also seen in this piece. And so they feel cohesive, these three here. Now let's jump down to this one here. This one has quite a different color scheme. We have more blues and purples. We've got some really dark navy blue, which the other pieces don't quite have. We have more cool yellow and lavender colors. So just in terms of color, they don't really connect. But they also don't connect in terms of being an abstract landscape or even like this style of non-representational abstract. They're really quite different. This one feels a bit more organic, like it's almost an abstract nature piece, but it doesn't really feel connected enough to this one. Now let's go to this piece back here. Move this for a second so you can see it well. So with this one, we have that warm yellow again. We've got some blue purple, some light blue purple, a lot of blue green as well in this piece, which does connect to some of the other pieces that we have up here. It's a little bit different, but because it's also an abstract landscape and we have other abstract landscapes up here, it actually seems to fit quite well. Okay, and then we have this piece. This piece has turquoise, blues, purples. It's a little bit on the cooler side, where these other paintings have really nice shots of warm. We don't really see much warm at all. We get the contrast from the light turquoise, from the tints of the turquoise. There's a little teeny spot of cool yellow here, but this piece feels quite different. It's really textured. Let's get a little close up here. The whole entire piece is really textured, and it has some techniques that you don't really see so much in the other pieces, so it stands out as not quite belonging. And then we have this piece here. And so once again, we have some colors that are totally different. Doesn't quite work with that. It doesn't work at all with that. It's stylistically different. The colors are different. Same thing. It works stylistically, but not color-wise. And it's perhaps closest to that one, but still, they're still pretty quite different. Now, if we take these two actually work quite well together. And you see that this one could almost work too, but we don't, because we have the pale lavender color, we have some of this blue, there's a bit of that blue in this one, and they're also abstract, organic, landscapey type things. So we have a hint of a landscape here. This is definitely a landscape. And this one almost looks like a mountain, you know, a bush on a mountain. And so because these all feel very organic and they feel like they're inspired by nature, and we have similar colors, and we also have similar techniques, these three seem to go together better. But these two definitely go really well together. So let's remove the pieces that don't quite work. So now take a look at how much more consistent this series is. So once again, these two in the end, they go together. This yellow-orange really combines them. We have some turquoise in here. This is a darker shade of turquoise. And we have some really interesting layers and effects that we also see down here. So it goes well with this one. They feel, again, very united in terms of theme, the abstract landscape, the organic nature. And then, of course, this one over here, these two connect, again, with the yellows, the light blue, but also this sort of abstract mountain landscape thing. There's an openness in this area here, and there's an openness in this area here. There's an openness in this area here, and here. There's an openness. So I think these pieces are different than this one. We don't have that sort of openness, that great expanse that lets our eye rest a bit. This one's a lot busier. And same thing with this one. You know, we don't have that sense of vast, deep space, this area for the eye to rest, whether it's zoomed in like this one or zoomed out. This one, all the areas are pretty much treated. We have a little bit of calm here, but it doesn't feel like enough calm that these other paintings offer. There's some areas that are really just not as detailed that help our eye rest. So just to summarize here, what we see in these pieces, I'd say the biggest thing is that they're linked by color. They're linked by the fact that they're all either abstract landscapes. There's one non-representational, but it still feels organic and it feels like it fits into the group. And also, all of the work that I do is inspired by nature. It's all abstract landscape, abstract floral. That's what's behind all of my work. So thematically speaking, I didn't have an idea when I was creating these. I naturally moved towards creating something that feels like nature, that feels like a bush or a flower or a lake, an ocean. That's just what I gravitate towards. And so these have that similarity. Now you could make some arguments for kicking out that piece from this series and just letting it be the abstract landscapes. You know, you could do that if you want to, or what you might do is I actually have another piece that's similar to this. It's just really big and it's framed. I didn't want to bring it out for this video, but I'm going to put it up here on the screen. This one fits really well with this, and they are both linked thematically. So in some ways, I could also just take this one and go off into a different series with those two, and then build off of this series, and then make sure that it continues to be an abstract landscape. There are so many options, that's the thing. There are really a lot of options, but I think the biggest thing is that people connect when things really easily connect visually. And the way they connect visually is often through color, through shape, and form, through techniques that you're using. But of course the idea, there should be some underlying idea there. And for me, these are exploring the landscape, the exploring texture, it's exploring color. These are the things that I'm interested in as an artist. Now, by the way, can you just give a quick like? It does a ton for my video. Thank you so much. Now that we understand more about a series, what a series does not look like, when it can feel like it's too many different things, and how to eliminate to make it feel a little stronger, let's look at a series that's very cohesive that I did have an idea before I started. Now, before I talk about this series, I want to let you know about a challenge that I am doing in early October 2025. In the challenge, I will teach you how to take all your one-off paintings and figure out what your strengths are and how to proceed with a series from several of those pieces. I will teach you how to identify patterns and strengths, and you will also have access to a Facebook group where you can get feedback from me and other students in the challenge. In addition, I will have live Q&As every day, and also you will get a creative meditation that is built just for people like you who want to keep making art and perhaps even moving forward to selling or showing your work. So the link is in the description box below. Check it out. I'd love to have you in the challenge. And just so you know, this challenge is not about painting or making art or any techniques. It's about you and your work and how to find and identify the uniqueness about your work so that you can understand how to move forward. So check it out, link is below in the description box. So this series behind me was inspired by tumbleweeds. That's right, tumbleweeds. So we get a lot of tumbleweeds where I live here, and they can build up and create huge piles. And actually they're a huge fire danger. They're very dry, they light up really quickly. And when the winds are blowing, it's pretty dangerous to have them around. So what we do in our neighborhood is we actually put them together, our two neighbors on either side. We get a big contraption that we built and we burn the tumbleweeds inside. And so a few years ago when we were doing that, at the end of our burning session, I noticed a beautiful ash. And here it is. This is the tumbleweed ash. And it had this gorgeous, really dark, deep color. And I thought, ooh, I could make paint from that, because I had made paint before from ash, from my wood stove, from charcoal, from various pigments. So this inspired my Tumbleweed Love Affair series. And it's about basically the love-hate relationship with the tumbleweed. I hate them because they're a nuisance and we spend a lot of time trying to pull the weeds and get rid of them. But I love them because of the beautiful paint that they make. And so in this series, I'm using what I call tumbleweed black, and that is all these deep, gorgeous blacks. And I'm also using paint that I made from natural pigments I collected here in northern New Mexico. So right here, you can see my collection. So here's one, there's various colors, and what we have is a lot of reds and yellows and whites, some green, and then some like brown purple, but that's about it. That's our range. So this series, I wanted to focus on just natural pigments, the tumbleweed black, the tumbleweed paint, and also the natural pigments. And so the big idea with the series was not only combining these two things. The tumbleweeds are actually a modern plant that's not even native to New Mexico. They actually came over via Russia about 150 years ago, and they spread like crazy in the American Southwest, and they're often romanticized. But I wanted to sort of dispel that idea that they're this wonderful, cute little Western thing. They're fire danger, and they actually outrun some of the native plants. So I wanted to combine that modern with the ancient. A lot of these rock pigments I collect, they are from northern New Mexico. These rocks are from the Triassic period. So it's mixing up the old and the new. So that was the idea going into this series. And for the most part, I limited my palette. And so there was an idea, right? But there was also a color cohesiveness from the beginning because I can't get certain colors, right? I can only get the colors that I can get. So that limited my palette, which actually was a really good thing for me. So you can see that there is a consistency with all of these pieces. We have the dark black line in every single piece. Sometimes it's presenting as a horizon, like in these two, and sometimes they're placed vertically. Sometimes they feel really abstract and non-representational. Other times it feels very much like a mysterious landscape. This almost feels like airy and ethereal in a way. But what combines these is the color, the fact that they're all natural pigments, so they all have a certain texture to them. But you can see the rockness, if you will, in all of these pieces. And so it's a very cohesive series. So I hope that helps understand what a cohesive series can look like and how you can still have a series if you have an idea from the beginning, or if you don't. If you just paint for a while, if you just keep painting and painting and painting, and then afterwards you realize that 5 of the pieces really feel like they belong together. So either way you can make a series. We're here in this series, I knew exactly what I was up to from the beginning, and that was the goal. That theme can come afterwards. It's totally okay. When you're doing abstract work, sometimes you don't even know like what it is that's motivating you to keep using these colors, to keep using these forms, to keep using the black line. And you figure that out afterwards sometimes. And I love to teach my students how to do this, how to look at their work and understand their work in a deeper way so they can understand what lies behind what they're doing. So once again, in this challenge, which I hope you join, we will go deeper into your work, into your style, into understanding what are your strengths, what are your patterns, what are the things that you love to do, and how can you do more of that to create work that feels like it's truly yours. So again, that link is in the description below. And just so you know, if it is after October 2025 that you're watching this video, no worries. Just check out the description box below. I have a bunch of freebies there that if you sign up for my email list, you can get one of those, and then you'll know about the next challenge. I usually do these more advanced challenges once or twice a year, and then I also do abstract painting challenges about 3 times per year. So go ahead and jump on my email list, get one of those freebies, and I'd love to have you in my community so I can help you become a better painter, whether it's for you or whether you really want to show and sell your work. And I hope this video was really helpful for you to understand more what a series is and what it's not. If you have any questions at all, or if you'd like to just throw me a comment and tell me how you felt about this video, please do that in the comment box below. Since you're interested in this topic, I think you'd also like these. On the bottom left here is a video about why galleries hate a certain type of portfolio that gets submitted to them. So that'll be a great one to watch if you're interested in submitting your work to a gallery. And this other one is about how you can instantly up-level your artwork. So check these out and have a great day.